Kryon Book 12, The 12 Layers of DNA, Chapter 7, Part 2. Layer 2, Your Life Lesson. Dear ones, who are you? Why are you here? Is there something that you are supposed to accomplish or complete, or an attribute of yourself that you can discover and change? These questions are all wrapped up in what you may call your life lesson. If this layer could have a partner, it would be Layer 8. Now, in this linear lesson, we have to give you the energies one at a time. So a partnership with Layer 8 makes no sense, since we haven't got there yet. So we will have to step out of the linearity here and actually give you a purview of Layer 8 in a moment. Many would ask, Kryon, what is the difference between the energy karma gives us and our life lesson? Or are they the same? Since everything is related to everything else, you might say that you can't take this completely out of the karmic energy bag. However, think of karma as a push to place you in a groove of appropriateness. Karma is about the group around you, your place in it, and the emotional energies that are developed from that. You might say that karma is the default guide or direction for all humans on the planet. It creates 4 and 5 generations of firemen and policemen, doctors or military men. You fall into the groove of what you may think you are supposed to do, or what your parents tell you, and do it. The more to the story of how this happens than the "my dad did it, so I'll do it" argument. There is a propensity to go a certain direction and fulfill certain goals that are built into your DNA that come with your karma. It also represents unfinished business, feelings of passion about certain things you wish to do, and of course, your relationships with family and others. Some are actually driven by your karma to find abusive partners. The reason is not to be punished, but so that they can work it out or find a way to solve the puzzle. Solutions of such things have always been the energy generator of humanity for the planet, and those solutions raise the vibration of the whole. In the past, karma has driven all of the passions of human beings to go and be and do. It was seen, identified, and explained early by some of the core religions of the planet. It is only in recent times that it was dropped in the favor of a reward and punishment system of spirituality. A karmic system requires you to look at the whys of things and try to work on them. A reward and punishment system allows total control of the leadership of the organization, who then give the members the way to God through rules developed by men. The masses love it due to its simplicity, and, indeed, it has brought many to search for the Creator, and it is appropriate. The truth is that anything that humans develop to find their way to God in any culture is seen by God as an appropriate path. For the love of God does not care how you create a path to whom. In 1987, things began to shift on this planet, and as we have described many times in the past communications, your actual reality began to change. New spiritual tools have become available, new processes and new awareness are in play. An illumination shift is what we have called it, and indeed, its nickname has become the 1111. It is almost a graduation of the old energy into the new, but at the same time, many are realizing that it simply is a remembrance of what you once had. With this energy, and new tools became an entirely new set of enablements for humanity. One of them was discussed with you in 1989 when it arrived. For in the first book of Kryon, we told you that you could now drop the karmic attributes that you came with and create your own groove, and it would not be the one supplied to you by the system of time, karma. We encourage you to do this, Since karma is a very long-term and slow process of learning over lifetimes, in this new energy, we ask you to take control of your life and decide for yourself what your passion would be. Now, after all these years, many have done this, including my partner. With it, sometimes comes a totally new set of friends and the departure of others who simply will not understand it when you disengage the game of karma or reject the current spiritual thinking. No longer interested in the family drama? You must be sick, they say. When you disengaged, many of the family walked away. The karmic rules of families are set and very difficult to see when you are immersed in them. The family member, who is the sand in your oyster, was designed that way, and it's no accident that you have been dancing in the drama dance all this time. Now you elect to step away, and the family member is furious that the dance partner won't dance anymore. They leave. Karma is that way. It's ancient and slow. The new human has choice, but with consequences. Now the responsibility issue must be understood and developed. No more victims, no more accidents, and total responsibility for all that is around them. These are the new understandings. Life lessons, on the other hand, are far more personal. Although this attribute may, indeed, be related to a karmic energy, it stays with you when your karmic attribute is dropped. So you know it's more profound than karma and belongs to your individual core soul instead of a group. It is carried from life to life, just like karma, but in a different way. So it has carry-over attributes just like karma. Karma is about situations with other humans, unfinished business, feelings to be completed, and a system of interaction. Life lessons are totally and completely personal and only about you with you. Typical life lessons to be learned are listed here for you to see. Know that these only belong to you if you feel they do. Each human has one or more, and each human comes in with it as an overlay. Once the human solves them, this solution is carried to the next life and never has to be learned again. Learn to love, learn to listen, learn to receive, learn to love yourself, learn to speak your truth, learn how not to be a victim, learn not to let anyone define you, learn how to feel your own mastery, learn how to live with other humans, learn how to get out of blaming others, learn to move out of duality, meaning drop your karma. Learn to take care of yourself more than others. Learn that you deserve to be here and are not dirty when you are born. Each one of these is profoundly personal. They don't involve family, a karmic roof or group energy. They are yours personally and you work on them for lifetimes, just like you do karma. However, in this new energy, they are not all on the table to be solved. The life lesson issue is one that did not separate itself from karma until recently. Until 1987, the old energy hid any kind of understanding that you could actually change what seemed to be the way you were. If you came into the planet as a fool, never listened to anyone, unhappy, and seemingly unable to function with others, you were labeled and seen as difficult. That was it. The idea that you might be able to somehow change your stripes was not normally thought possible. New Age practitioners before this time had a tough job, since only a rare few could actually understand and be able to work with such a concept of total self-change. Torah Esse Sephiro is the Hebrew name of God assigned to this layer. I identified this layer's name to my partner in 2003. My interpretation of it for this book is the divine blueprint of law. Some may ask, Why that interpretation? Herein lies the complexity that some are not ready to hear, read about, or understand. The very word law sounds like men's rules. So I offer you this. What about the laws of nature, or the law of supply and demand, or the law of gravity? These are not written laws, but expressions of the way things work. You might then interpret this praise to mean the divine blueprint of the way things work, if you wish. There is, indeed, a plan for the way things work within humans. Some call it human nature, and many feel that this law creates people who are a certain way, and is all part of the variety of life. Some are this way, and others are that way, and the psychologists put them in boxes. There is an underlying feeling that they are this way for life, and that nothing changes them, for that's just who they are. This is where the really good news is, that humans can change any attribute about themselves they wish to. Nothing is cemented in place. Phobias, fears, personality type, talents, all are changeable in ways we have discussed before. The source of these gifts is in layer 8. We told you we would get there. Layer 8, briefly, is going to be discussed later as one of the 2 layers that carries the Akashic record of each human being. Its name and attributes will be discussed, but you already know a lot about it, since you know the number of it. Let's discuss the numbers. This is layer 2. 2 is all about polarity, or the duality of life. Duality is defined as the clash of 2 concepts within a singular consciousness. Duality is, therefore, the carnal and biological human being who is also a piece of God. In human history, it often represents the clash of good and evil, integrity and greed, and God and the devil. It is so powerful a force that the basis of much of the world's religious mythologies has a fallen angel who is then somehow responsible for all evil. You are then told that you walk through your life with both God and his fallen angel speaking to your ear of the things that you are supposed to do. Isn't it interesting that even mythology starts with a sacredness? There is no darkness in the beginning. Evil is only created from the light in the scenario. The human being has a full choice of whatever he wishes to do. He can be a Mother Teresa or an Adolf Hitler. The black is black, the most evil thing on the planet, starts with a human being creating it from his own duality. He has free choice to go either way, and there is no sacred energy on the planet that will keep him from it. This truly is the free choice that we speak of. The duality is different from many people. It sometimes represents a struggle with a higher you and a lower you. Odd as it sounds, many have gone through this struggle and have realized that God part of the human is the familiar part, and that everything else is a trick. This is, therefore, one of the most profound setups of the human being. Some say the test is about finding the Creator inside, and they would be correct, for indeed, that is what this is about. Some would rather just say it's finding the higher self, or that part of you that is balanced and peaceful. Whatever you feel about it, human being, you are probably aware that it is different for each human. Some seem at peace with life, and others constantly struggle to achieve it. This is the testament to the vast variety of human paths, and also the fact that there simply is no one solution that works for everyone. It is the bias of linearity that says that each human is the same spiritually. Even metaphysical teachers often see a human spirituality just like the human body, where everyone has the same parts. They don't. Let's say there's someone in front of you with some issues they wish you to help them with. Imagine if you could read the Akashic record. How many lives have they had? What is in the spiritual jar of learning? Are they an infant or a master in spiritual experience and learning? Do they have a core karmic attribute or an advanced one? Are they an old soul or a new soul? Depending on these answers, you could have someone who is ready to receive the highest information that can be transmitted, or one who needs to start at the beginning with concepts that some of you reading this book have known and been practicing for years. Sir, do you see how the two and duality go together with the energy of life lesson? Truly, I tell you that when duality is in the balance with human being, you see the life lesson so much clearer. They indeed go together. And now, you are just beginning to see how numerology sometimes tells the rest of the story when it comes to solving the complex issues that you have to solve. How could a human even begin to discover and work on their life lessons without balance? So now you know another core bit of information. Work on the duality issue first, and many of the other things in the puzzle will start to come together. There is no human who can begin the journey up the enlightenment road with a duality that is out of balance. We could stop here, but we must mention again that these layers are all interactive, and they work with each other, intermingling and mixing with one another. Just because we identify them separately doesn't mean they are apart from the others. My partner told you that, but hear this again. With each layer, there are other energies that they work with, and other layers that are often partners in the puzzles. In the case of layer 1, it is the hub, so it works with all the other 11. But layer 2 works especially well with layer 8. Layer 8 is the full personal Akashic record of the human being. Everything that they have ever been, learned, or have accomplished is here. Every gender, every spiritual experience, every lifetime. This shakes hands with the search for duality and the life lesson of the human. For it is this past energetic history that has created the attributes that are unique to the human now. I just ask you a number of questions about who might be standing in front of you with issues to solve. Every human has a setup with dozens of core issues that have come from earlier lives. So, do you see how the puzzle is built? It really starts with the Akash, then spreads from there. When you are born, you receive all the Akashic information in every single cell, in combination with the 3D inheritance factor. That is, your parents' participation, as well as what we call the dust of the earth. This is our way of saying that everything that ever happened is actually part of the double helix from the very beginning human. 8 in numerology is responsibility and practical manifestation. As we will see later, this is the perfect number to represent the Akashic record. It speaks of who you are and your responsibility to the earth and your ability to structure yourself in 3D. Even though you're really a multidimensional creature, it's actually quite interesting what happens when you are born. For you are no more quantum than at that moment. For the first few years of life, the 3D fights for control and usually wins. Ever see how small babies are enamored with things around them that you can't see? Those things are very real, but it takes a while for the child to adjust to only seeing things in 3D. Summary: Layer 2. Layer 2 is the divine blueprint of the law of duality. It represents a search for an individual's life lesson, and it works very well with the upcoming Layer 8. See, the blueprint is an interaction of this layer with Akashic layer. For a blueprint is an English nickname for the recorded plan. This, then, is the layer of DNA that is responsible for giving the human being a feeling of purpose and direction. It carries with it the attributes of life and all that has happened, not in an archive form, but rather emotional form. Some of the layers carry memories, and some of the layers carry the tools for action from the memories. One layer may be the carpenter and one may be the wood, while another is the building plan. Even within two layers, do you begin to see how they work with each other? Thank you for listening. If you'd like to listen to more excerpts from the books of Kryon, you can subscribe, like, and comment below. And if you like, you can donate to the channel to support our work with the information down below. Thank you, and hope to see you in our next video. Om